Thank you, Madam President. And I ask my colleagues to join me in voting against this constitutional amendment. Proposition 80, an 80% tax increase on some residents and small business owners of the Commonwealth. This constitutional amendment will hurt Massachusetts. We only need to look at our friends in neighboring states. We only need to look at Connecticut to know this is true. In the aftermath of passing their so-called millionaire tax, there was immediate revenue loss of $4 billion in Connecticut, and long-term revenue losses of up to $10 billion has been estimated. The exodus of the most mobile taxpayers has had a devastating effect on revenue and job creation, with an estimated loss of 360,000 jobs in Connecticut. And in fact, Connecticut has run a budget deficit in 12 of the last 15 years. So I appreciate my colleagues coming before us today saying that flight risk of potential business owners and wealthy residents is not real, but I promise you, if you talk to our friends in Connecticut, they will tell you it is real, it has happened, and it will happen to us. According to IRS data, in Massachusetts, of the 529 sole proprietors and 184,000 S-corps, over 15,000 small businesses would be hit by this tax, a tax that will lead to job loss like that in Connecticut. Now, this proposal fundamentally is unfair. Hiking the taxes of certain residents by 80% is unfair. Those earning $1 million or more are already paying taxes equivalent to no less than the average income in Massachusetts. These taxpayers are paying their fair share. They're paying more dollars than any other tax-paying class in the Commonwealth. Now, Massachusetts has 6 times rejected a graduated income tax. A flat income tax has been reaffirmed time and time and time again. And in fact, in the year 2000, the taxpayers asked to have their income tax reduced to 5%. A wish that 20 years later, we are just getting around to doing. And more recently, the taxpayers rejected an automated increase in their gas tax to infinity and beyond. How many more? How many more times will the taxpayers have to say no to the legislature on their tax increases? How many more times will they have to say no to a graduated income tax? Now, last year, the Commonwealth took in over $1.1 billion in excess revenue. Massachusetts does not have a revenue problem. Massachusetts has a spending and a priority problem. Massachusetts budgets are outpacing inflation. We spend over $2 billion annually for benefits for those who are illegally here in the Commonwealth. We have a mass health line item that in the last 10 years has doubled, and is now over 40% of the Massachusetts state budget. And according to the Boston Herald story recently, we've had over $3 billion in revenue we just haven't collected. We need reform in our spending and our priorities, and not a divisive class warfare tax increase. Now, I'll conclude with this thought. At a time of the year where high school and college graduates are receiving speeches on graduation day about going out to the world and being successful and achieving their dreams, starting a company and making a difference, I feel that we should put maybe a little caveat in those speeches. We should tell those students, go out and be successful, just not too successful. Because the cost of your success, of being too successful here in Massachusetts, will be that you will be villainized as a rich person who doesn't care, that doesn't do your share, and the punishment will be paying over 50 cents on the dollar of your hard-earned money back to government. Colleagues, I ask you to reject the underlying amendment today. Thank you, Madam President.